Today we're here to talk about the Paladin Light Bar from F-150 LEDs. I've had this light bar installed on my F-150 for about 6 months now. I wanted to give a review on it that's, more than an unboxing, more than just a first look, and actually talk about how this light bar has performed and also held up. For me and my truck, I use it a lot. I use it for camping, fishing, hunting, family trips, all kinds of travel. It's not garaged, and so this light bar has been installed in the winter in the Midwest. It's outside all the time. My truck's not garaged, and so I wanted to wait and see how it did. It's seen snow, sleet, rain, heat now as we're in the middle of the summer. I'm sweating now, and I gotta say it's held up great. One thing that really impressed me about the F-150 LEDs light bar is the build quality. You can get a cheap light bar on Amazon. You can go to, some no-name brand and get something cheaper. But for me, the total package with the F-150 LEDs was something that has proven the value. I honestly didn't know up front, is it worth the cost? But for me, it boils down to several key things. One is obviously performance and durability, which so far has been fantastic. I'll show you some night shots with the light bar. But then obviously with the F-150 LEDs, you're getting a specific fit for your truck. So as you can see, it's really nice and streamlined, fits really well with the grill profile. The mounting hardware is easy. The install, which you'll see in a bit, was incredibly simple. And not only the light bar itself, but honestly all the components. So you look at wiring, you look at connectors, you look at relays, you look at switches. It is a turnkey system, incredibly easy to install. And all of those components have been really high quality. So I think that's one thing that sets it apart beyond just the performance and how it's held up. I don't have any moisture in here. I haven't had any fogging issues. Nothing's rusting on this thing. And so it's really held up well. Let's go ahead and dive in and look at some night shots. Again, for me personally, I'm using this off-road, finding camping spots after dark. I am using this on-road a bit where it's legal, just because there's lots of wildlife on back roads, for example, and a lot of places I'm driving. And this thing truly lights up the night. I'm not a guy who wants light bars everywhere and wants to look like some overlander, because that's not what I am. I just wanted the functionality to have the power and have the light at night when I needed it in a sleek package, and this does it for me. Let's go ahead and look at those night shots. Alright, so now that you've seen this thing light up the night a little bit, let's rewind. I did the install video many months ago. Been running this light bar for quite a while now. And so let's go back in time, take a look at the install. The guys at F-150 LEDs have a great detailed install video, but I did document my experience with the install and give you a high-level overview of the process. Let's go check that out. Alright, so I just finished the install on the light bar. I actually had zero plans to finish this. My goal was just to get the light bar mounted. That proved to be so easy. I was doing with limited time. I started running cable. Once I run cable, that proved to be easy. So I just hooked the whole thing up inside and out, fully functional. I gotta say the install process, super simple. If you know nothing about electronics, still super simple. Taking apart body panels, I actually have done a little bit on the front of this truck, but even if you don't have that experience, really straightforward. Again, the guys at F-150 LEDs do a great full depth install video, so I'll point you to that. But I will say I did use the same process that they did of running the cable through this panel here. This just comes out between the headlight and the grill, ran my cable up. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at how everything is routed into the battery and then into the cab. Here's that waterproof connector. Really nice connection point. I wanted to keep it accessible. If I ever need to take the light off without removing all the wiring, I can do that here with that waterproof connector. I ran things underneath the plastic, so underneath this air intake, underneath all of this plastic here, simple push pins. that comes out really easily. You can see where it's braided and coming out here. I have not done my full cable routing. I just wanted to let this thing be installed for a week or two, make sure everything's fully functional. So I will mount the relay and tie things up much cleaner here, but obviously just tie in positive and negative. I'm running across the back side here. I had some other cable that I kind of paired it with just for now. Again, I'll tie all that in later. And then this is where things get difficult to see in this lighting, but the grommet to the firewall is on this driver's side here. There's a rubber grommet back in there that's easy to pull out and is going to come around. Let's go take a look at the cab side there. Back behind there towards the firewall is where your grommet's going to be. So your wire's going to come in back through here through the firewall. You can bring it up and under the dash. And then I'll show you where I have my switch. There's obviously a few locations you can mount it. One of them being on this side, but actually went to the right side, the driver's side, and then mounted my switch here. You can see it's off, red, on, green. So again, there's a quick connect harness here. So I actually mounted the switch first, dropped it through the steering column, brought it underneath the dash completely, and then tied into the wiring that came through the firewall. Crazy, crazy simple install. Something that I have changed since the original install video is get rid of the original power button here, push button, and install this custom switch panel on my truck. So for me, this first guy here, that's the light bar, and I have multiple other devices tied in. Just wanted to throw it out there that you can customize the F1 LED system if you don't want to use the standard power button there. And also, if you want to learn more about this and other customizations on this truck, I have more to come, so hit that subscribe button.